So in the last session we discussed about some security, users and groups. What is user, who is user? Next, what is a group and why we require groups? Okay, so next to some group commands. Next we discussed about security levels. Okay, so next to permission codes. So we discussed about all these things. In this session we are going to see directory level permission, file level permissions also we discussed in the last session, right? In this session we are going to discuss about changing permissions, how to change permissions, and next one is symbolic codes for every permissions. Okay, so we have different type of changing permissions. One is symbolic, another one is octal. Okay, so changing permissions can be represented in two forms. One is symbolic codes, another one is octal codes. We will see both. Okay, we will see both. And last we will discuss about changing the ownership and groups. Okay, how to change your ownership means how to change your groups as well. Okay, fine. So first one is changing permissions. So when you create some file or directory, by default some permissions will be applied to this file or directory, What is this file, default permission, and from where this particular default permission can be taken, and how to set these default permissions, that we will discuss later. But when you create a new file or new directory, the default permissions will be applied to this new file or directory. Okay, so generally new permissions, like for a directory, new permission that is 7 is applied, 777 is applied, and for file new default permission is 666. What is this 666 and 777, that we will discuss, but the default one is for directories 777, for file numeric 6668. Okay, fine. So these are the default permissions where we can set, or where the system will take, from where these default permissions will be taken, that we will see. Okay, fine. So the thing here is, when you create a new file or directory, default permissions will be applied to this file or directory. So as a user of this file, or as a user of this directory, user in the sense here I am saying that owner, as a owner of this file or directory, you can change these permissions. Using change mode command, chmod command, chmod, change mode command. So using this command, all lowercase, small letters. Okay, so using this command you can change your default permissions, file permissions or directory permissions, that you can change. Okay, fine. How to change? We'll see this command. Okay, so before going to see this command, we will see how to represent these permissions. So first of all, these permissions can be represented or depicted in two notations. We'll see. Let me draw one simple diagram. It doesn't take more than 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. No. right? So changing permissions can be in two formats. One is symbolic, another one is octal format. Okay, I will see these two before continuing or before checking change mode command. Okay, we'll see what are these two symbolic formats and octal formats. Okay, so here symbols are, as you know, that are smaller, right, x. Okay, so these three are the symbols, and again we have three sets. One is owner, owner. Okay, here owner will be having read, write, x, three character set. Next one is group, again three characters, others. Okay, so in this way these three symbols can be used to represent owner permissions or group permissions and or other permissions. So to represent any permission, owner permission or group permission or other user permissions, you can use these three symbols. Okay, next we will see what are octal and what does it mean. Okay, fine. So here octals are 0 to oct means 8, deci means bi means 2, deci means 10, octal means 8, okay, and hexa means 16. So these are the computer number systems. Okay, so oct means 8. So here in this octal system we have 0 to 7, 1 2 3 4, okay, 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, so we have only 7 symbols. Okay, so in this octal representation or octal number system, in computers we have 4 kind of number systems. One is decimal number system. I'll just for better understanding I'll write down here decimal number system, binary number system, okay, octal number system and hexadecimal number system. Okay, so here this decimal number system means deci means 10. It has 10 symbols. We are not going to discuss in detail about this one. So deci means 10. This number system has 0 to 9 means total 10. This is the general number system we use for mathematical purpose. Like if you want to refer some 100, 100. So these three symbols are from this decimal number system, right? So binary number system is nothing but this is your computer system or computer number system. It has only two symbols, that is 1 and 0. 1 and 0, only two symbols. Bi means 2, only two symbols. Next to octal, oct means 8. Here this number system has 8 symbols. Those are 0 to 7. 0 to 7 means total 8 symbols. Hexadecimal, hexa means 6. Okay, deci means 10. So this number system has 16 symbols. Just I'll show you what are the symbols. So these are 0 to 9. 0 to 9 means 10. Okay, remaining 6 are A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are the symbols present in this hexadecimal. So our topic is not computer number systems. So coming back to our permissions. Okay, so here to represent any permission, those permissions can be represented in the form of a symbol or octal. Okay, so either you can use R, W, X or you can use the octal system, right? So in this system we have only 0 to 7, total 8 symbols are there. We'll see what is this one by one. So 0 means it is nothing, means no write, no execute, no read, write, execute. Okay, so here this is none. Okay, one means execute permission. Okay, remember all this. One means execute, two means write, three means, see here what is three. Three means here I'll tell you what is three. Generally if you add 1 plus 2, what is 1 plus 2? Sorry, 1 plus 2, right? 1 plus 2 means 3. What is 1? Execute. What is 1? Execute. 2 means write. So this octal 3 means execute, sorry, write and execute. Write and execute. Next one is 4. Try to add previous numbers. Can you add, if you add 0 plus 1, will you get 4? No. If you add 1 and 2, will you get 4? No. If you add 1 and 3, will you get 4? Yes, will get 4. 1 plus 3 is nothing but 1 plus 3 is nothing but 4. So what is 1? Execute. Okay, what is 1? Execute. Sorry to say, 4 is for read. 4 is for read operation. Okay, so these three are fixed. 4 for read, 0 for none, 1 for execute, 2 for write. Okay, so first 3 and 4, these three are fixed, and remaining are we can derive from an existing one. Okay, so 3 means 1 plus 2, that is 3, that is we can write, 3 means write and execute. 4 means only reading. 5 means we can add previous to. What are the combinations that we can do? 1 plus 4. 1 plus 4. Here 1 plus 4. So that is why 5 means execute and read. Execute and read. Next one is 6. What are the possible numbers that we can add? What are the possible numbers that we can add? 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2. Okay, so here 4 plus 2, what is 4? That is read, 2 is write. Next one is 7. 7 means read, write, execute. So that is 4, I'll write on here, 4 plus 2 plus 1. So the total is 7. Okay, so that is read, write, execute. Okay, so these are the octal. Okay, if you want to apply read, write, execute, then you can say 7. If you want to apply only reading, if you want to apply only read, write, then you can use 6. If you want to apply only read and execute, use 4. Only for read permission, use octal number 4. For write and execute, 3. For only write permission, 2. Octal 2. For only execute, octal number 1. So if you want to disable all read, write and execute, then you can use 0. We'll see practically, we'll see with examples how to use these for the users, groups and others. Okay, so user has set of 3 characters that you can represent with single octal number. Instead of, for user, see here. Okay, we'll see examples one by one. Fine. So first we'll see this change mode command. We'll see this change mode command. The syntax of this change mode command is, chmod command is chmod space here you need to specify some options. For this command, we have some options that we'll see. Next, modes, whether you want to specify read mode, write mode, or execute mode, or combination. Okay, so here the mode is like you want to apply the mode, or you want to remove the mode, or you want to add modes. Okay, so we will see what are these modes. And next one is file or directory. File or directory. Okay, so this is the syntax of your change mode command. Here we'll see one by one. So first one is options. In these options, what are the options available, that we'll see first. Okay, U means users, small letter, it should be small case. U means users. Okay, next G means group. Next means O means others. Okay, means here the options are user, group, others. Okay, users, group, and others. Okay, next one is modes. We'll see what are different modes. Either you can assign the mode, means you can assign some permissions to a file or directory. You can assign some permissions to a file or directory. To assign, you can use equal to symbol, or you can add. Suppose there are already some permissions are there, you can add some more permissions to this file or directory. You can add some more permissions using the plus symbol. Assigning is different, adding permissions is different. We'll see with examples how to assign permissions. If you assign the permissions, previous permissions will be removed, and what are all the new permissions specified, those permissions will be applied. If you are adding, you can add, suppose for a particular file there is only read and write permission. You can add execute permission, that is adding. Okay, if you assign, whatever the existing permissions, that is read and write, will be removed and new one will be applied to this file or directory. And next one is you can remove file or directory permissions using the mode minus. Using the mode minus. Okay, so next you can specify the file or directory name that you wish. Okay, fine. So change mode command is used to change file or directory permissions. File or directory permissions. If you create a file or directory, by default some permissions will be there. As a owner, based on your requirement, you can change these permissions using this change mode command. The syntax or appearance or form of this change mode command is chmod. This should be in small case, lower letters. Okay, next space, minimum one space. Okay, that is the rule you have to follow. Okay, so minimum one space. You can give more than one space also, but you can't combine these two. Now it will be an invalid command. Now it will be an invalid command. Okay, so next minus options. Here you can specify any option whatever you want. Okay, so these are the options. Either you can use U, or you can use G, or others. Okay, based on your requirement you can change user or group or others. Okay, you can specify any one of the option. Okay, and next one is mode. You can change mode. Okay, means you can assign the permissions, or you can remove the permissions, or you can add permissions. How to do that we'll see. Okay, right. See here, ls minus lrt. Here I have one file. Here I have one file, that is test.txt. test.txt. How to change? Here, if you see the permissions, all the three sets means user permissions are read, write, execute. Means owner permissions are read, write, execute. Second set, group permissions are read, write, execute. Last, other user permissions are read, write, execute. Now, I don't want other users to write into this file as well as execute this file. See the requirement clearly. I don't want other users. I don't want other users to write into this file and execute this file. Okay. How to remove these two permissions? Means it means I want to remove these two permissions. I want to remove, in simple words, I want to remove these two permissions to this file test.txt. Okay. Now the command is chmod space. Here you have to use the option. So here I want to change other user permissions. I want to change other user permissions. Next, mode. Am I looking for assigning permissions or adding permissions or removing permissions? Here I am looking for removing the permissions. So here the mode is minus. What are the two permissions I want to remove for this other user? W permission, okay, as well as X. First we will see how to remove W permission, then we will see execute as well. Okay. Now I am removing write permission to this file test.txt. See this command clearly, carefully. Chmod change mode. This is the command. Using this command you can change a file or directory permissions, right? Next to O, why we are using this O mode? The reason is I want to change other users permissions. Other users permissions. Okay, fine. So that's why the mode is O. Next one, minus, that is hyphen symbol. Why we are using minus symbol? I am going to remove the permissions which are there, already existing permissions. I am removing an existing permission. Okay, so that's why minus symbol. If you are adding permission, you can use plus symbol. But here we are going to remove write permission to this other user. Okay, so here the file name is test.txt. Now run this command as executed. Now see this output. See this. Previously there was write permission to this test file. Okay, but that write permission is removed. Means other users cannot write into this file. Means they cannot do any file editing operations. Other users cannot do any editing operations, file editing operations. They can only read or execute. Now the next one is change mode. See the next requirement. For the group, these three are the highlighted set permissions. These second permissions are for group. Okay, now the requirement is I want to remove all the read, write permissions, read, write, execute, all the three permissions to the group, okay. Then you can use to the group. So mode is G. Okay, why? Because I want to remove, I'm going to change some group permissions. That's the reason I am using the mode G. In the previous example we used O. Why? Because that time we were removing other users permissions, right? So here we are removing group users permissions. Okay, so I'm going to remove, that's the reason I am using minus. Next one, what are the permissions you are going to remove? I want to remove all three, read, write and execute. So read, write, execute. Specify all three. Here the rule is without any spaces, without any symbols like commas. You need not to separate each permission with comma. Okay, so no spaces, no symbols between the three permissions. Okay, if you are removing or adding some more than one permission, then those permission symbols cannot be separated by either spaces or other symbols, either spaces or other symbols. Okay, fine. So here all the three are specified. Space, next your file or directory name. So in this case I am going to remove permissions to the file. So test.txt. Now press enter. Yes, no errors means command is executed. See the effect. See, for this group, second set, this is first set, that is owner, and second set, that is group. For the group I removed everything. I removed everything. Read, write and execute. Okay, is it clear? We'll see some more examples. Okay, now I am going to change. We have seen other user, group. Next we will see user, that is nothing but owner. Okay, so change mode, u means user. Here the mode is u, sorry, option is u. Okay, so that is nothing but user. I am going to remove read and execute permissions. I am going to remove read and execute permissions. Okay, next if we say ls minus lrt, we may or may not get. Okay, so that's why I am going to remove write and execute. Okay, so u minus wx means we are removing write permission and execute permission. Space, your file or directory name. Fine, executed. Now see this here, this file test.txt has these permissions, okay. So here user has only read permission, group has no permissions, no read, write, execute, and others can read this file and execute the file, but they can't write anything into this file, right? Fine. So we'll see next example, how to add permissions. It is very, very simple and you might guess as well. Okay, so the command is change mode space. Now you can suppose if you want to add permission to the user, add permissions to the user. So already user has read permission. Okay, so I am going to add write and execute permissions. So here u, that is the option. Why? Because I am going to change user permissions. So use, I am going to add permissions. That's why the mode is plus. Only we have three modes: plus, minus, equal to. Equal to is for assigning, plus is for adding, minus is for removing. Simple. So user add, I am going to add write and execute. So without any spaces, specify the symbols. Write symbol, execute symbol, space, your file name, that is test.txt. Clear? Now press enter. Yes, command is executed. See the effect. Yes, write and execute permissions are applied, added. Okay, now next we will see the difference between adding permissions and assigning permissions. Okay, fine. chmod, change mode. Here I am going to now see the requirement. I am going to assign write permission to other users. I am going to assign write permission to other users. So here my option is O. I am assigning some permissions. So use the mode, that is symbol is equal to symbol. Okay. So first I will write down option, that is other users. Okay. Now I am going to assign some permissions to other users. So that's why equals to, what is the permission or what are the permission I am going to apply. Here I am planning to apply write permission to other users, only write permission. So here the symbol is W space your file or directory name .txt. We have seen one example how to add permissions. In this case, we are going to see how to assign the permissions. Before going to run this command, see this, what are the permissions present for this other users. Okay, what are the permissions other users already have. Already other users have read and execute permissions on this file. Okay, now run this command. Now see the effect. See what is there? What is there for other users? Only W, only write permission is there, and what are all the existing, means before running the command, what are all the existing permissions are there? Those permissions are removed. Okay, and what is assigned, that will present. That is the difference between assign and adding. For adding, use plus symbol. Just it will only add the new specified permission to the file or directory, if it is not there. If it is not there. Not there means, we'll see with an example. Change mode space. See here the owner is already having read, write, execute. Now I am going to add here user, means owner has already all the three permissions. Those three permissions are read permission, write permission, execute permission. Now I am going to add read permission to this user. Okay, so my option is U. I am going to add, that's why the mode is plus. I am going to add read permission to this file. Okay, now run this command and see. Is there any error? No. See the effect. See, the user is already having read permission, and again you are trying to apply or add read permission. Okay, so it is already there. It will check whether this particular permission is there or not. If it is there, no problem. Otherwise, add read permission to this user. That is the meaning of this command. What is the meaning of this command? So change mode is to change file or directory permissions mode. Okay, fine. Here U means this option we can use it for users, groups or others. So U means user, G means group, and others means O. Okay, so these are the three options you can use. Next, plus means add, or means read permission. So here the meaning of this entire command is, this command, change mode command, will check on this file whether this file user is having read more or not. If not, add this permission to the user. Simple. Okay, otherwise no effect. If it is there, no effect. Okay, that's it. Fine. So if you are changing permissions of your directory, same process, but here only the name will be changed. We'll see. For this directory example, we'll see some examples. Change mode space. Okay, you want to change for user or a group or a other user. Okay, fine. Specify that here this directory has other users has read, write, execute. So I want to apply write permission to this. I want to add write permission to this. So here the option is other users. So O, I want to add write permission. So add means plus symbol. Remove means minus symbol. Okay, so add, that's why plus symbol. What permission? Write permission. So the symbol is W space your directory name. So that is directory example. Okay. Now run this command. Yes, it is executed. Now see the effect. Yes, this directory example, other user write permission is added. This directory example, other user write permission is added. Okay, to other user write permission is added. Okay, before this command there was no write permission. See here, for other user only read and execute. Okay, now write permission is added. Okay, so what is the command? This one is the command. Okay, so change mode space your option. This option can be other user or group. Okay, so next one is mode. We have only simple 3 modes are there: equal to, plus, minus. Equal to mode assigning the permission, plus mode adding the permission, minus mode removing the permissions. Okay, right. Next one, you can specify one or more permissions. Symbols. If you are specifying more than one permission symbol, then those symbols should not be separated by anything. Anything in the sense either minus or special characters or special symbols. Okay, like R minus or R comma. Okay, your command should not be like this. Change mode O should be in lower case again. Okay, or user U should be small. Group G should be small. Unix is case sensitive. Here uppercase and lowercase are different. Okay, Unix is case sensitive. Right. Okay. Other user, I'm going to say add, read, write, execute. So R comma, write comma, execute. Okay. You cannot say like this. If you are specifying more than one symbol, that is permission symbol, these symbols should not be separated by anything. Okay, so no spaces, no commas, nothing. RWX. Yes, this is allowed. Okay, and this is the rule as well. Okay, so this is the syntax of this command. Okay, while specifying the permission symbols. Fine. So these are the permissions, right? Now go back to our Word document. See how many permission symbols are there? Two kinds. One is symbolic, another one is octal. We have seen different examples and number of examples using these symbols. Okay, using these symbols. Okay, next we'll see some examples how to use octal. It is very simple. Maybe in the last session or before last session we have seen one or two examples using these octals. Okay, now see, there are two files. Again we are going to see some examples on these two. One is file, another one is directory. Right. So the command is change mode. Okay, now see, if you are using octal number system, if you are using octal symbols, then you must specify, see, I'll show you with example. Okay, then I'll explain you again this. Change mode space, here see this file test.txt. Now this is the permission set. Here first three are user, you know that. Second three are group, you know that. And third is other users. Okay, we are clear about this, right? So these first three characters. Okay, again if you go back and see what are the octal symbols? See, what is one? One is execute. Okay, here we have RWX, RWX, right? RWX. R is nothing but 4, W is nothing but 2, X means execute is nothing but 1, means 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7. Your octal is 7. So these first three characters, I can say 7. 7 is nothing but user 3 permissions. Those 3 are read, write, execute. Okay. So next one, this is group. This is group. This group is having no permissions. So 0. What is 0? None. None of the permission, right? So next one is other user. Other user. What are other user permissions here? Only write. What is the octal for this write permission? What is octal for this write permission? Octal for this write permission? 2. Exactly. Okay. So this is 2. So these are the permissions already present, already existing. Now see, here I am going to change this 2 as 7. With this example you are clear. Again I will explain after running this command. But anyway, 7. So already existing permission is octal. If you are representing that in octal, it is 7. It is 7. Okay. Sorry. Again, existing permission is write permission, that is 2. Okay. But we are changing it to 7. 7 means read, write, execute. Means with this command, let me type. With this command change mode, I am going to change other user permissions. That is already write permission is there. I am going to change it to read, write, execute. Now run this command and see the effect. No error. We got command prompt. Now see this. This other user permissions are changed. Okay. It means the first symbol will represent the user. This octal symbol, first symbol represents your user permissions. Okay. This second symbol represents your group permissions. Second symbol group permission set. Okay. First symbol user permission set. Octal representation 7. First symbol octal symbol is user. Let me highlight this. Okay. So this first symbol is user permission set. Second symbol is group permission set. Let me highlight this. So this is group permission set. Third one is other user permission set. Now you may get some doubt like, I want to change only group permissions, then can I use only single octal symbol here with change mode command? Yes, you may get change mode. So when we were using so those symbols like read, write permissions, there we use whatever we want, we use, but here we must use all 3. Okay. So I am going to change only this group permissions. So can I use only one symbol like 7 and can I say test.txt? Will this command execute? No, not at all. Why? Because this command cannot be recognized. Where to apply this 7, octal 7, that is nothing but read, write permissions to a user or to a group or to other user. Okay. So if at all, if it recognizes, it will be applied to the first set, that is user only. Let us run this command and see. Okay. That is user only. See here. Here this is applied to other users. Okay. It is removed. So this is bad way of using. We must specify all 3. Okay, so change mode space. So first set for user, second set for group, third octal symbol for other users. Here I am saying 357. 3 is nothing but, what is the octal symbol 3? 3 is nothing but write and execute, means write and execute permissions. Write and execute permissions will be applied to the user. Next one, 5. What is 5? What is 5? Write and read. Read and write. Sorry, read and execute. 5 is read and execute. Okay. So these permissions will be applied to the group, and last one, 7, read, write, execute, will be applied to the other users. Now run this command and see the impact. Okay. So here first 3, that is write and execute permissions are applied to the user. Write and execute permissions are applied to the user. Second symbol is 5, that is applied to the group, that is read and execute. And last symbol, octal symbol 7, this is applied to the group. This is applied to the group. Okay. So if you specify only one octal symbol, then the system is not sure, okay, whether it is going to apply to the user or a group or other user. So better use all 3 sets, 3 symbols. First symbol refers your user group, a user or owner permission set. Second symbol, your group permission set. Third symbol, other user permission set. Okay. I hope this is clear. Okay. So the same thing for directories also. Okay. Now I want to restrict all permissions to this directory example 1. I want to restrict all permissions. Read, write, execute permissions to all users, groups and other users. Okay. Then you can change it using change mode command, chmod space 000. 0 means no permissions, none of the permission, no reading, no writing, no execute. Okay. Space your file or directory name. Now I want to apply these permissions to my directory 1, directory example 1. Okay. Now run this command and see. All permissions are removed. Okay. Now let us see what is there in this directory. Let us see what is there in this directory. Directory example 1. See what you are getting. What you are getting? Permission denied. Permission denied. Okay. So the user does not have read permission. That's why the access is denied. Access is denied. Okay. Now can I run this? Can I read this? Let us check with this. It will ask for some password. I am going to type the password. Now see, you got output. Actually this directory does not have read permission, but you got output. How? We discussed it in the earlier session. As a HD user, you don't have. As a HD user of this directory, as a user of this directory, HD user of this directory, directory example 1, you don't have read permission, write permission and execute permission. But sudo means super user. As a super user, you can do it. Only super users can do it. Okay. So not the user. Super user can do any operation. That's the reason I executed this command as super user. I executed this command as super user. I know the password of this super user. So I entered the password. That's the reason command executed. Okay. Suppose if the user does not know what is the sudo user, I mean super user password, then it will be failed. Very simple reason. Okay, so already previously it was executed, that's why it is taking the same password. Okay, if you take some different okay, fine, if the user does not provide the password, they can't access this, right? Let us clear the screen. And only one example is left. That is, first let me apply all permissions to this directory, then we will see the directory, I mean change mode command parameter or option. Okay, we have an option that is -R, minus capital R. This is nothing but recursively. Okay, fine. First let me apply all the permissions to all the sets like users, groups, and other users. Change mode space 777 to this directory example 1. Okay, now permissions are applied. Now see what is there in this. Yeah, there is a file. Sorry, there is a directory inside this. Okay, now the requirement is, see, chmod. Okay, see here, if I change this directory permissions, change mode 700 means only user will be applied with read write execute, group and others will be 0. Okay, now see this, I am going to apply these permissions to directory example 1. Now directory example 1, what I am trying to show you, that I'll explain. Oh, sorry, need to specify only the directory name, not the path. Right, no such file. Oh, might be spelling a mistake. Yes, spelling mistake. So change mode 700 space your file or directory name. Here I am going to specify the directory. Yes, command is executed. Now see the effect of this directory example. Yes, there is, okay, right. See, in this directory example, first before this one, see this, here I applied 700 permissions to this directory example 1 only, right? So here to this directory, whatever the specified permissions, those permissions are applied. Clear? Those permissions are applied. So the permissions are only read write permissions to user, and rest of 2 are empty, means group and other users don't have any kind of permissions. Okay, that is applied. But if you check the directory inside this directory 1, there is a directory that is list directory. It is inside the directory example 1. This list directory is inside the directory example 1. But is this particular command is affected this? No, it doesn't affect. It only affects the specified directory. But if you want to apply permissions to the directories, subdirectories, and so on, then you need to specify, or you need to use one option, that is -R option, capital R. Okay, so we'll see this example. Before going to see, I'll apply all read write permissions to this directory example. Okay, change mode 777 to this directory example. Now this time no spelling mistake. Okay, fine. Now see the effect, whether permissions are applied or not. Is applied. If you want, you can check the list directory permissions as well. ls -lrt directory example full 1 slash. Okay, so what are the list directory permissions? User has read write execute, group has read write execute, others has only read and execute. Okay, now I am going to apply some permissions to users, groups and others recursively. Okay, means starting from this directory to the end of the tree structure. So now change mode space, whatever the permissions you want to apply, specify those permissions. In this case, for better understanding, I am going to give 700, means only user has read write execute, others has no permissions. Okay, others are going to have no permissions. Now start from this directory. Okay, or you can say star. Okay, before this one we must use the option that is -r. Now 700 space directory example 1. Okay, now here I am specifying this directory example 1. This directory has one more subdirectory, that is list. Okay, so before running this, we will check what is the list directory permissions. These are the permissions. Okay, let me run this command. Yes, the command is executed. Okay, now first to see what are the effects for this directory. Yes, the specified permissions are applied to this directory example 1. Now let us check the same is applied to list directory or not. Yes, list directory. So this directory permissions are changed to the specified, that is user is having only read, write, execute. Group and others no permissions. So this -r, coming back to our example, where is the command? Yes, here is. Coming back to this command, this -r recursively right from the starting or specified directory to the till end of the directory. It will keep on apply these permissions to the directories. Okay, so -r will apply recursively, permissions recursively. Okay, fine. We will stop here and we'll continue in the next session. What is mask? That is nothing but the default permissions applied. Okay, for files and directories. You can change these mask, means you can change these permissions. Okay, we'll see how to change later. Okay, fine. We'll stop here. I'm going to exit from this. Fine, in the next session, we'll discuss about user mask, means what are the permissions, default permissions to files and directories. Okay, so this is the last topic in this chapter, that is security and file permissions, right?